What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. It's Mario Mondays, so that means we're talking all things Mario. Of course. And today it's Mario Kart World. We just got done doing stream racing with you guys. And it was a blast. Had a great time. Did some knockout tour, and we also did a couple just like versus races. And look, a lot of comments about this game, a lot of feedback, differing opinions. And so I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to share some of my thoughts after I have not spent a ton of time with it, but I got some thoughts to share with you guys. So it's going to be a good time. And I know people are just rolling in right now. Joey Pitts says Mario Kart World is game of the year. Ooh, there we go. That's from Joey Pitts. Let's play the intro and then we'll talk about it. All right. Well, like I said, Joey says Mario Kart World Game of the Year. That's a pretty bold statement right there. There are so many like incredible things about this game. There's a few things that like, make me wonder about some of the decisions. It's a very different game, I would say, than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And they even talked about that in the developer interviews. They mentioned that kind of stuff. Like this is a more like bouncy and kind of fun game. It feels a bit more like a party game to me than like, I don't know how to put it really, but like, was the last Mario Kart like a serious Mario Kart, and this one's a little bit more fun? The more I'm playing this game, and the further I'm getting from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the more I'm liking this game. But I think there are like, how do you play a game for 1,500 hours and not get sick of it? That was me with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, that's saying something. That is really saying something. And I know where I'm at with this game right now is I'm like, I kind of want to get a lot of the, like, all the unlockables like knocked out, so then I can jump into like time trials, right? And just really have just have fun in multiplayer. That's kind of where I'm at. Although when I stream, I still just end up jumping into multiplayer because I love playing with you guys just so much. It's so fun. So I see Sunshine is here, Gaming Lover is here, Debbie is here. And so if you guys got any thoughts, share them, okay? I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about Mario Kart World. Joey Pitt says, I think it's a great single player exploration, relaxing vibe, but then also sweaty competing, and also Smash Bros party vibe. Yeah, just add Diddy Kong and I won't need another game. I know every I don't think we're gonna hear the end of Diddy Kong until Joey gets what Joey needs, which is of course is Diddy. A little bit of there's even some news with this game, you guys. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet from Nintendo or not, but they are doing a tournament for this game. They've already got a tournament happening at, and I believe it's tied to Nintendo Live. I'm gonna try to pull up the tweet here from them so that I can give you guys exactly what they're talking about. Nintendo did just tweet out something for Donkey Kong, which is looking fantastic, like looking so good. But yeah, here we go. Announcing the Mario Kart World Invitational 2025 tournament taking place at Nintendo Live 2025 Tokyo on October 4th and 5th. More details will be revealed in the future. So that's pretty rad. How's this all going to go down? In the other game, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they would do championships periodically where the community could compete, and they would do that via the tournament mode. So, you know, I know like the conversation has been like, well, why is it missing modes? It also has brand new modes, right? So like I almost wonder if they're like, hey, we have stuff we held back on purpose, and just so that like you guys can have time to experience things, and then we can drip feed more content. I don't know how everybody feels about that. I know part of the conversation online is like, I miss the good old days where I could just I would just get the game, and it was done, and I would just be able to play it. But like there's a lot of content here. There is a lot of content here. Whether it's exactly how you wanted it or not, that's to be determined, of course, but there is a ton of content here. If you want to spend time hunting for everything, searching for, all of the unlockables, but then depending on how you play, it might be like your main focus is time trials. And if that's the case, then like you've got hours and hours and hours of playtime right there. Chico says, I think this is one of my favorite Mario Kart games. The atmosphere of the tracks, the lighting, expression of the characters are so fun. This game is full of charm. No question at all. No question at all. I agree. I agree. And in the last race, a bunch of you guys switched to Mario in the mechanic outfit and the pipe frame, just like me. And we were all lined up taking pictures. There were some people that were just throwing items at us. And it was just like, that's definitely part of the charm. Definitely part of the charm. Let's see. Sunshine says, this is one of my favorite Mario Kart games as well. Love the changes, all the wall jumps, rail rides, add a whole new component, which is something new to learn. I absolutely love Knockout Tour. Yeah, it is. What was interesting is when I first saw Knockout Tour, I thought like, okay, this will be fun for the first week or two. No, I could see this being fun for quite some time. Like it's pretty sweaty. And we've only like, if you guys were with me over on the Nintendo Topic podcast on Friday, we had almost 24 players, and it was a good time. Like you get 24 players in there, and you're sweating, and it's a good time. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing, and it might be like kind of one of the like Kart Club perks or whatever, but like getting into a Discord call and basically having everybody that's in the race just being able to talk and hear some of the trash talk and everything that ends up happening while we're doing some Knockout Tour. I think it'll be great. Gaming Lover says this game is definitely beautiful graphics, characters look great, and outfits are great. Mechanics as well, new and crazy to use. Yeah, no question there. That is very true. And they've done the way that you unlock a mirror mode in this game, like so crazy. Like Johnny and Crawler were trying to figure it out over the weekend. Like Johnny's like, I know mirror mode is there. I saw it at the Nintendo event. And online, people are like, maybe. Some people say it exists. Other people say it doesn't. They're trying to figure out if it's even real. And you have to, from my understanding anyway, like get all the unlockables. I think maybe that's not the case. But they were trying, like literally, I'm just basing this off of their conversations. It was unlock everything, get all the P switches, do all the panels, do everything in the open world, and then do all the Grand Prix. And then you have to do the Special Cup a second time and then that unlocks mirror mode. So again, I don't know exactly how to do it because I'm just basing it off of what the conversations I was hearing from them. But like, it seems like there's quite a bit to do to get to that, to be able to get it unlocked, which is I think it's great. I think it's great. In mirror mode, I didn't even know how they would do it. They literally flipped the entire world. The entire world is flipped at that point, which is pretty cool. And I mean, it's got to be a bit of a feat, I would think. Maybe not, but I think it's pretty rad. Gaming Lover says, however, there are some things you have to get adjusted to. Basically, IRL boat physics on the water. Relearning how to drift with this game. Once we get used to it, we're going to get ripping down. Yes, no question there. That's it. It is a little bit like it. What's weird is it feels. This may sound strange, but the drifting in this game feels a bit like the very first Mario Kart. And I know that's going to sound super, super strange, but like there are elements to it that I'm like, yo, this feels like the OG game. Like obviously far more polished, very evolved, but I'm like, it's interesting. Like when you start your drift, it's almost like you overturn a little bit while you're in the air. So you've got to adjust for that. Whereas like 8, I felt like it was very streamlined. Like once you started the drift, there wasn't much to worry about. You just kind of like drifted into everything. And this will be the same, don't get me wrong, but it's a different line. The drifting is a different line, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's a change, right? It's a change. Chat, let me know on screen, is Mario Kart World backwards for you guys, or is it the right way? Let me know, because if I need to mirror it, I will. But if you guys are reading that backwards, please let me know. Chico says, I think the game is definitely a love letter to Mario franchise. It's coming up to September to be Mario's 40th anniversary, and I think this game's perfect for what it's trying to show. There are some beautifully remastered music tracks, like just like I really, really, really love some of the music, and it's like it's one of those things like I haven't even experienced all the tracks yet, so I'm like driving in Knockout 2 or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's like a remix of Mario 3 or a remix of Mario 1, or like there's all these old songs that I'm like, yo, I love the way they did this. It's so good, just so good. So I do agree there. It is a love letter, and I'm hopeful that we see some kind of like Super Mario Brothers throwback in this game for the 40th anniversary. I hope there's something planned. I hope a lot of the games going forward with Switch 2 will have some kind of a tie-in with the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. I would love that. Taking a look at the chat here again. Joey Pitt says, how do you think they will expand? Like Donkey Kong or Zelda map? Do you fly into it, or do they expand the land or loading in the world? This is a good question. This is a good question, and the reason it's a good question is because of what we were talking about on stream earlier. How do they handle DLC so that the community is not split? That meaning everybody can still play it online, but then not have areas that are walled off to people that don't purchase, right? So I assume it will work like this. You guys can throw in your 2 cents on this. But I think that what happens is the world expands. There's the bigger map. Those roads connect to other tracks, like if it's Zelda or Donkey Kong or whatever the case may be. But then if you're in free roam and you don't have it, you hit a wall, like it's walled off. And then if you have it, that wall comes down. You could free roam in there, do more P-switch challenges, do that kind of stuff, right? Because I would assume there'll be more stickers in the new areas. Because I mean, if it's Donkey Kong World, Joey, you're going to want all the different Donkey Kong stickers that would be unlocked by going into free roam in that section. and getting all the unlockables. And so, but then when it comes to like Knockout Tour online, that kind of stuff, it's going to be open to everybody. And I mentioned this on the stream, like maybe that's part of the reason for the overall cost is that like you will technically get free DLC with this game if they charge for it, right? And we don't know, everything's speculation, but you'll technically get free DLC if you don't want to pay for it to race online. If they do it like the last game, like you did not have to buy the expansion to be able to race all of those tracks online, which is the way they need to do it. They need to do that because they cannot separate the community. It's just games have learned, like developers have learned through the years that like when it comes to DLC, you've got to figure out a way that it's very community focused. And I think Nintendo has done a good job with that, keeping, especially at least with Mario Kart, keeping the community together regardless if they paid or not. And that's a good thing. So Sunshine says, I cannot wait for a new Mario game. I have such high hopes after playing Mario Kart World. Yes. Colin says, I need Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition. Let's go. Joey says, I think it'll be pipe shoots you off to transform into like Rainbow Road. Very possible. It's very possible. Maybe those pipes are blocked or just not there if you don't have the DLC. And I mean, you guys remember when we were speculating about this game, I was hoping that pipes were going to be part of the game. And who knows, they are in free roam. You can go into pipes, but like, what if we want to jump from, the like Mario Brothers circuit all the way up to like the Mario circuit, like from the Super Nintendo? Maybe pipes are something that they incorporate to where you can still do Knockout Tour, but you're not limited by just specific runs, or those runs have to be modified when they add if they add a new world. So I guess you could just strictly go to that world for those new runs, and that may be the way that they do it. But I think, like, personally would love to see the tracks be able to intertwine with each other no matter where they're at on the world as well, because it would really keep things fresh. I mean, could you imagine what if they come out with like, a variant of Knockout Tour that's like Knockout Tour Warp Pipe, right? And then obviously they could build how it goes. They would have to build that out ahead of time so that it was, the game could load it all in. But then that's what you're voting for. You're voting to see where the warp pipes are going to take us. And then it shoots you to each section as you hit that finish line. I think it would be cool. Colin says Mario Kart DLC NSO perk. I hope so. I hope that is the case as well. Just like the Legend of Zelda stuff for Tears and Breath of the Wild, which I know it's not Mario related, but guys, go check that out. If you haven't, depending on the type of TV you have, if you don't have a TV that's like, can do 120 and 4K or 4K 60, all that kind of stuff, at least download it and play it on your Switch 2. It is something to behold. It is honestly like, it's so silky smooth. It's crazy. Chico's asking, what do you think of items and their balancing in this game so far? I think it's perfection. I do. I think it's perfection. I think it feels like they spent so much time with it. Do I wish there were ways that it was like way easier to get out front and really just, front run like we used to do in Mario Kart 8? Sure. But at the same time, the way they have developed this so that everybody is in a pack and you can get out front. Don't get me wrong. There are ways if you hit your right shortcuts, you got your coins, there are things you can do. But for the most part, if you think about all your past races in this game, I know it's only been a few days, there's not a whole lot of front running. And even if there is, it still brings you back. You know, there's still like the blue shell and the red shells and all that kind of stuff. Like they do bring you back. So it feels very, very well balanced, and I'm a fan of everything so far. It's just a matter of for me at this point, my to-do list is unlock everything and then like really start understanding the tracks and time trials. Like those two kind of like coincide together, because I feel like the track I'm the best at right now is probably Mario Bros. Circuit, and that's the track I've time trialed the most. Right? I'm familiar with the line. I'm familiar with what I need to do in order to get the best, like try to get the best time on there. And so I know my exact line when it comes to racing in multiplayer. And the beauty of it is it's also different. There are shortcuts that you can't hit right off the bat like you can in time trials because you already have your mushrooms. So it forces you to race a little bit different, but there are just a couple little subtle nuances that you're like, I'm gonna take this path instead of that path, because if you guys are like me, you may not have taken it at one point and then got passed right at the finish line. That's always frustrating. So they've made this game. There's some depth. There is definitely depth to this game, and I applaud them for that, because it's going to take a while to master. Like it is going to take a while to master, and I think that is so great. Joey asks, has anyone tried battle mode? I am right now. It's fun, but feels like it was an afterthought for content. They did the same thing with Mario Kart 8 when it first came out. And I jumped in, but I do feel like a future update, they may need to add just battle mode tracks. Because I mean, I get it, kind of, but they have this big open world. Just throw battle mode tracks in it that you wall off once we're in battle mode. That seems like and I know that's kind of what they're doing right now, but some of them are not like, they're not super friendly to battle mode, which was the problem with Mario Kart 8. And then 8 Deluxe came out with specific battle mode tracks. So, you know, I want to dive into it a little bit more myself. I've only just briefly dipped my toe in the water, and I was in a section that was like kind of near Moo Moo Meadows. And with 24 people, it does help because there's usually action happening everywhere. So, like, we'll have to see after we maybe we'll jump in as a community one of these nights and see how everybody likes it and what everybody thinks. But I do miss the fact that there were like set arenas for battle mode, and hope that makes a return in the future. So Debbie says, I love frenzy mode. Amazing. Sunshine says, I am thrilled that bagging is no longer a thing. Yeah, it's basically gone. Like, the bullet bill's not nearly as damaging as it used to be. I think some of the most, like, the best items in the game, the gold shell, that's got to be one of the best items in the game, because if you throw that thing correctly and you hit your line of coins and you just stick with it, you're getting a pretty significant boost. You're not only you're literally you build upon boosts every time you hit a coin, so you just start going faster and faster and faster. I think there is a limit. Based on what I was doing tonight, I think there is a limit on how much faster you can go, but I like very much a fan of that gold coin. I think it is great. Joey says Battle Royale battle mode. Yes, add it. Let's go. Chico says, I think open world is fun and rather enjoyable. Is there anything you think should be added to the open world in future updates? There's some quality of life stuff. Maybe the like let you know how many P-switches are left in an area. They don't have to necessarily show you where they're at, but at least give you an idea of how many are available still. You know, I was doing an area, and because they show you like how many like question block panels there are. So the maybe some quality of life stuff of like, because it shows how many you've collected so far, but it doesn't show the total. So maybe some again, just little quality of life things, nothing major. They do want you to explore though, so I mean I do get it, but I think having that number would at least you'd know like, okay, I've completed this section. I don't need to keep hanging out here. Let's see. Chico says, speaking of battle mode, I'm disappointed there are no Shine Runners or Renegade Roundup in this. Would you want those modes back? So here's the deal. There's no Piranha Plant. So, I mean, they could add it to just Renegade Roundup, and I'd be okay with it. But I'm kind of glad that that item is not in the regular game. I was always annoyed when I got it. The only thing it really was good for was eating the blooper so you didn't get ink on your screen. But outside of that, it was an item that I don't really miss. So could they bring it back and just add that item to battle mode? Yes, they did. They added the feather to battle mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it was not in the regular game. I think one of the best modes in battle mode was with the bombs, where you just had unlimited bombs and that's all everybody was throwing at each other. That was so good, but yeah, Shine Runners, like all that, like I think again, I think we're seeing a great foundation for what the game is. I think there's a lot to come. Fingers crossed anyway. I don't think this is a one and done for them. I think they understand that like their core fan base is picking this up, playing it day one. Hopefully it can justify future DLC. Hopefully there's lots of stuff planned already. Because again, I've been talking about this for years that I want to see the next game have a very, very long tail. So fingers crossed. I don't know if I said this. Debbie says, I love the giant mushroom. Sunshine says the golden mushroom is key. You can be in the back and then cut through the grass off terrain and get back to the front. Yeah, it is definitely a clutch item. There's no question about it. Joey says maybe a marker on the world map so you know what direction you are going, like a GPS. Yeah, and kind of like almost like in Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, where you could like put markers and then drive to that marker if you wanted to. That might be a cool quality of life feature as well. So, it's one of those things like, I don't know if you guys like how many of you guys are like real creative and you work on, maybe music or drawings and anything like that. But like when you're in the thick of it all the time, sometimes there's stuff you just don't pick up on because you're like laser focused on one thing and I know the same is true with game development. Like if they get super laser focused on like one thing, they may not be thinking about some of those other things that like once the community gets a hold of it, they're like, why isn't this missing? And it's not something they even potentially didn't even think of. So that's the, like, I do feel like Nintendo has their ear to the pavement. They're keeping their thumb on the pulse of the community. They listen somewhat. They also sometimes just tell us what we want versus what we're telling them we actually want. That does happen, but I'm very hopeful for what the long tail of this game is and the different quality of life features that can make their way. Chico asks, what's your favorite track and least favorite track? I know you haven't played all of them. Yeah, that's a tough question. The more I'm playing, the more I'm falling in love, honestly, with the different tracks. I love the water aspect of it because it feels like Wave Race to me, and I was always a huge fan of those games back on the 64. So I love the way that they're incorporating water. I do understand the bit of frustration where it's like this is the drifting all of a sudden is different, but I'm also kind of like grateful for that. Like if it just felt just like the car, I think that would be a little bit off. So the physics feel really good in the water. As far as my favorite tracks right now, I mean, it may be it may be the wrong answer. I know there can't be a wrong answer, but like I love the Donkey Kong track where he's the big robot like tossing the barrels, and it's like really a throwback to Donkey Kong. Like I love that stuff. It's like the music is good. There's you're seeing elements from Mario and Donkey Kong's first game and Pauline's first game all kind of brought to life in a track form. I think it's brilliant. I think it is brilliant, and I love it. Colin picks a great track. Says Boo Cinema. No question. No question there. It is so good. So good. Joey says, do you think radio stations would be nice, like the theme of that music, or to create a playlist? Yeah, I do. I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, I would probably just my playlist would probably be pretty simple, honestly. But at the same time, I love when you like you move from one area to another and then the songs change and stuff. Like I think it's great. So Joey says, because the music is so underrated, talking about Donkey Kong. I love it. Vincent says, new gen all I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know. I started to read that and then realized it was not Mario Kart related, so forgive me. And it's totally like, don't worry about being negative. If you have like, all opinions are welcome here. We just try to keep everybody just try to make sure everybody gets along afterwards. That's all. So Sunshine says, you need to unlock Rainbow Road. When you see it, it's going to blow your mind. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I've played it. I've raced it in multiplayer, but I haven't unlocked it for myself yet. So, but I did play it and it was very, very impressed with how it looked. So top 5 tracks that will, let's keep Mario Kart World going, guys. Tomorrow will be not our top 5, but our top 10 tracks in Mario Kart. So I got some homework. But that's going to do it for this episode of NPC. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys are the best. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye now.